everyone, welcome back to our channel. Thank you for joining us again. As you would have seen from the title of this video, we are doing a Q&A. I do have some questions written down in front of me. These are quite frequently asked, so hopefully I can answer them to the best of my abilities. If there is still some other questions that you would like to ask us, always feel free to write them in the comments section down below and we will get back to you when we have a moment. We just also wanted to say thank you so much for your ongoing support and helping our channel grow. We really do appreciate it, and we wouldn't be where we are right now without you guys, so thank you. It was something that we wanted to do for fun and just to make our community and other places aware that, you know, there is a lot of waste going on, and what we do save and what we do with it, that kind of thing. It is nice to see that it has inspired some other divers to create their own YouTube channels, so great job guys for doing that. We really commend you for doing that. It's wonderful. And yeah, we just couldn't imagine that we'd be where we are. We got monetized in 12 days, which is just absolutely ridiculous. So thank you again. Let's get into the questions, and yeah. Okay, so we're going to get into the questions. I do have 22 of them, so bear with me. So the first question is, what is it like when we come home with lots of things, and what are the struggles of diving before and after? So it's a lot sometimes. So sometimes you'll go out and you won't find anything necessarily, and that's fine. But the days that you do find stuff and you manage to fill up your whole car, it is extremely difficult and hard work. A lot of people think it's easy, but it's really, really difficult. You have to go to the dumpsters, you know, jump inside, dig around for ages, pull it all out, which is sometimes exhausting depending on how heavy and large the items are. Then you have to load your car, bring it home, unload it, and then your cleaning process starts, and that's when it is really exhausting and hard work. So you have to thoroughly clean everything, wash things, sanitize it. You want to make sure it's in date if it's food, or sealed, whatever it may be. But it is a huge job, and it is obviously worth it at the end, but it is very time consuming. Yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. We will do a video later on to show you exactly the whole process, so you understand exactly what we have to do, and it's just easier to show you than tell you. So look out for that video, that'll be coming soon. Alright, so question number 2 is, what is the longest we have stayed out diving in one night? So the longest we have stayed out, I would probably say, is about 6 or 7 hours. We have obviously driven around our entire city just to see if there's any new dumpsters, if there's anything that we've missed. Obviously a lot are locked, so you have to be aware of that. There are only a handful that we constantly go to that aren't locked. Occasionally they have been locked depending on if anyone's made a mess or defaced their dumpsters. Which is unfortunate. Then we can't obviously film as much as we'd like to, but yeah, I would say probably 6 or 7 hours going around our whole city. All right, question number 3 is, where do we donate? So we have multiple places we like to donate. Obviously when we get the items, we like to keep some stuff for ourselves, obviously only if we can use it, or give it to our daughter. Then I like to give stuff to friends and family because I know they could use it. I like to give stuff to the community for free. We have donation places like the Salvation Army, Savers, and there's a bunch of other places. However, I find they tend to charge a decent amount for the products, and since we find it for free, I don't often like giving these stores items that we find. I prefer to advertise them on Marketplace, advertise it for free out our house, and then people come by and take what they need. So that's how we usually donate. Okay, question 4 is, how long does it take to do everything? Dumpster, donations. It really depends. So it depends on what we get for the night. So if we only get a few items, then we like to, you know, build it up, leave it in the house. So we'll get a collection going. Every morning I will get up, I'll clean all these items, but obviously because we get home late, I just leave them in the kitchen for the next day, and then I'll start that whole process. And then when we go out that same night, we'll just keep building and building until we have a decent pile. It depends on the carload and the night. So if we get a lot, then I'll clean it the next day and donate it that same day. If not, I'll let it build up for a week, and then we'll clean it all and donate it at the end of the week. Next is the whole process time consuming? Absolutely, yes it is. From going out driving around, you're looking at a normal night, we'll go out for about 3 to 4 hours. We have a process on what we do because we have to work around our jobs and obviously our daughter. So it is quite late that we go out, so we get home very late as well, but it's usually 3 to 4 hours. And then obviously, you know, you've got to spend time in the dumpster digging around, you've got to film, you have to load the car, you have to come home, unload the car, then you have to obviously do your normal nightly routine, like your showering, getting our daughter ready for bed, that kind of thing. So yeah, it is very, very time consuming. Okay, have we noticed an increase in other dumpster divers since the cost of living has increased? Not overly, to be honest, no. It's about the same as normal. So we don't, though, go to food dumpsters. So that could be a possibility. But in terms of just our dumpsters that we go to, in terms of like Kmart, Target, Big W, that kind of thing, we haven't really seen an increase. Maybe a slight increase since obviously showing where we go dumpster diving through our city, because people have realized where we are. I have actually bumped into quite a few people that watch this channel, and that's fine. I always love when people enjoy dumpster diving. They can have whatever they need. I just like to be able to film for you guys, and they can have everything if they decide. So yeah, I wouldn't say there's a huge increase. How do we deal with the negativity coming from dumpster diving Adelaide? That's a good question. Well, to be honest, it does still obviously annoy us. Like, you'd be lying if you said things like that wouldn't annoy you. It is disrespectful, especially to the dumpster diving community. We're supposed to be building each other up, not tearing each other down. It didn't bother us at first, but, you know, once he started coming to all the dumpsters that we were defacing the store's property, it became personal. But we obviously don't pay any mind to it. It's just when he does his lives now, he just slanders us a lot. And obviously, like anybody would, it does get annoying. Zone out of the negativity. It's just once he does lives and slanders us, I do have people that watch our videos that come and let us know. It's just upsetting, that's all. I just think that after having a chat with him over emails, just basically saying, you know, what's going on here, can we just put this to rest? I thought it was over and done with, but not for him, it's not, but that's okay. Each of their own. He can do what he needs to do. We're just going to block it out and ignore it from now on. So I think that'll be best. Okay, do we have jobs, and if so, what are they? Yes, we do. We both have full-time jobs, but for the sake of what we do, we cannot disclose where we work or what we do exactly. What I can tell you though is we both work in the same industry, and it is a government job. I'll leave it at that. Okay, how did we start diving? Now, I think it was 3 years ago. We were just relaxing, we're watching a bit of TV, a bit of YouTube, and a video popped up of somebody dumpster diving, and I think it was either Big B, Been Living with Big B, or it might have been Dumpster Diving Mama of Two. Their video popped up, and we just thought, what was this? And we decided to watch it. We just were in disbelief that it was even real, and we decided to watch a few more. There was other people that came up that we found, and we were just absolutely in disbelief. So we decided one night, should we go out and have a look and see if it's actually real? And to our surprise, it was. We actually got a full carload. So that's how we started, I would say. Back when we did start, it was very different, obviously, because COVID had just sort of started around that time. People were throwing out so much more. Had we started a little earlier, we would have actually got probably a lot more, but we didn't really know that dumpster diving was even a thing. So we just got into it that way, and ever since it's just become more and more of an addiction. At first we were saving a lot for ourselves, and then we decided that we wanted to do something more with our time and actually give back to people. So that's what we did. Okay, will we be doing live dives? Possibly in the future, yes. We just, honestly, we're a little bit computer illiterate. We are still working out the ins and outs. Editing's not that great, but we are trying. We will look into it. Obviously, if it's something you guys want to see, absolutely we will. We just have to do a little bit more looking into it, but yeah, we will do that eventually. What else? Sorry, excuse me, my daughter's with me. You can't escape your children. Okay, the next question was, what safety precautions do we do? Now, obviously, I'm assuming you mean with gloves and going out and stuff like that. So obviously, we always make sure that there is the two of us together. I will not go out by myself just because I don't feel safe. We do wear sneakers. I know we should be wearing safety boots, but I mean, in these dumpsters, there's never anything really, really bad, like needles and stuff like that. So I don't usually bother with that, although we are very, very careful regardless, just to be extra careful. I also wear those blue rubber gloves, and I know a lot of you have issues with that. You prefer that I wear the proper thick gloves. Now, the reason I don't do that personally is because I do have my daughter with me, and you know, she will need her dummy, her toys, her blanket, her bottle, whatever it may be. And if I wear those gloves, then the germs are constantly getting through. But if I'm wearing the rubber gloves, I throw them out, I clean my hands straight away every single time. Then they're a lot more sanitized when I have to pass my daughter those things. I know, you know, sometimes germs, you know, it builds up their immune system, but just for me, I would prefer to do it that way. So I do apologize if it annoys you guys, but that is the way that we like to do things. All right, so what do we do with everything that we get? So again, we just mostly donate it to friends and family first. We always give them the option straight away, because I do have a lot of friends that are mothers and they're single. They don't, you know, have the most money in the world. So I will always offer their children everything that I find first to make sure that they have everything that they need. And then I'll offer the rest to the community. I'll advertise it for free for people to come pick it up, or I'll take some stuff to donation places like your Salvation Army and stuff like that. Next question is, why do we leave items behind? Now, this is a good question, and it's one that we get asked all the time, and a lot of you get frustrated with us. Okay, so there is multiple reasons as to why we don't take everything. Now, we are renting at the moment, and our house is quite small, so we just simply don't have the room. That is probably the biggest reason, and obviously it is very time consuming around our jobs and our daughter. Regardless of that, we still take everything that we know that we can fix, or that is, you know, like a user error problem, then we can clean it up and donate it straight away. We don't take things that are destroyed or broken, or like an actual project, because we just don't have the time for that. But there are plenty of other dumpster divers that come to those areas, and they usually take those kinds of things. And it's the same with the single shoes. So we just don't have the space, the time. And I don't know if there's a place here in my city that accepts it. There might, but I haven't looked really into that. So yeah, we just haven't really looked into it. too much. I do apologize if it annoys people, but for us personally, we just don't have the space or the time to be taking literally everything we find and running around the city donating things, especially with the cost of living and fuel prices going up. I mean, we only go out 3 nights a week, and even then it's very expensive to drive around for all those hours trying to find things. In the long run, we're really losing out. So we just don't want to sort of go out of our way to do extra things. So yeah, I do apologize if it does bother you guys, but just for us, it's just something that we just can't do at the moment. Next is, why don't we take single shoes? Well, as we've just explained, same sort of thing, why we just don't take everything that we find. How do we manage home life, work, and diving? Now, it is a struggle because obviously diving and all the items that we find, it's time consuming. It can take over your life and your house. It is quite difficult because, like I said before, it is very time consuming, and obviously if anyone has kids, they understand kids are time consuming. Then obviously you have to work to live, so all of that combined, it is a struggle. We're always tired and stressed, but that's another reason we don't want to take everything we find. So like I said, we have government jobs, so they're super important, and we always obviously go to work. We look after our daughter. She's never in childcare. She's always with one of us. So we work in between each other's shifts just to work around that. And then obviously dumpster diving, we go out 3 nights a week and make it only 3 nights a week. Otherwise it's too expensive with fuel. And obviously 3 nights is very time consuming, especially if we do find a lot, then we have to bring it all back and clean it and donate it, which is exactly why we can't take everything. Otherwise it takes over our whole life and we don't have time with our jobs and with our family life. So we just do what we can. I mean, that's good enough to us because we are helping people and we are saving a lot from the landfill. So we're quite happy with what we do. All right, next question. Can we elaborate on why dumpster diving Adelaide drags us through the mud? Honestly, we don't know. We don't really overly care to find out. I mean, some people are just, that's just how they are and that's how they want to act. We have reached out to him to have a discussion and just find out what is going on. Long story short, he wanted to be the only dumpster diver in Adelaide. We came along and we ruined all that for him. So now he's got something against us. There's nothing we can do about it. So we're just going to have to ignore it. So, I mean, you get people like that. It's unfortunate, but that's what happens. How often do we go out? So like I said before, we only go out for the 3 nights a week. I won't disclose what nights. So yeah, on those 3 nights, they're the 3 nights that we have worked out over the years that are the best for when the store throws out their items. But yeah, so I won't disclose what days, but it's just 3 nights. It used to be every night, but it got very expensive and very time consuming. Especially because the same nights we'd go out, there'd be nothing, so we just pick 3 instead. And obviously our daughter getting older, we have to have consistency with her nighttime routines. So even the 3 nights is it's throwing everything off a little bit and making things hard, but it's manageable. So that's why we're doing that. All right. What's the most expensive thing we have found? Oh, that's a good one. I'm not actually sure. We've found so much stuff, and it really depends because it's not just one thing that we have found that's expensive. It's been groups of items. So, I mean, I love my girly stuff. So makeup, perfume, your beauty products in general. If you watched a few videos before, we found a box of Tester perfumes. That was, I think, $2,200 for all of those. We found makeup that's roughly the same, so it depends. There's usually groups of items. Something we don't film is dog food. Now when you go to Pet Barn or Pet Stock, they have their really expensive bags of dog food. So the dog food is usually between $100 to $180. Sometimes it ranges higher. It depends on the bag, what it is, the size, that kind of thing. Put it this way, we haven't had to buy dog food or cat food for the last, I want to say 2.5 years. They are tipping everything out now, so it's becoming harder and harder to find. But I would probably say that would be really expensive too, just because obviously we find multiple bags. We used to find about 6 bags in one dumpster at a time, so you could just imagine how expensive that would be. But I would say over the past 3 years, we've easily saved over $500,000 in items. So yeah, it's just, everything is very expensive. It's just always like a lucky dip. You just never know what you're gonna get. But it's always exciting to find what, you know, they throw out. A lot of the time, it actually is just user error. It is just absolutely crazy to us what they throw out. So a video I have coming up, we found a brand new phone, we found headphones, they all work perfectly. My partner can fix a ton of stuff, so that's the kind of things that we take. Something that could just be pulled apart, put back together, and then we can give that to people that could use it. So yeah, so that's what we do. Our best finds, so that goes hand in hand. I mean, it's kind of a loaded question, because I would personally say all the girly items that I find are my favorite. So anything to do with makeup, beauty, or perfume. My partner would probably say anything related to camping, fishing, tools, his toy cars, of course. We found plenty of stuff from Bunnings. The drones that we found, he loves those. So things like that, we tend to keep a few things for ourselves. I have given neighbors plenty of stuff, friends, but there is that little bit that we might want to keep for ourselves. And there's nothing wrong if you want to keep, you know, some items for yourself. We don't usually sell anything. Occasionally we might, but it's very rare that we do that. Okay, how do we stay warm when we go out? Well, it's Australia, so it's usually very, very hot. In winter it gets cold, but it's not always that cold, I would say. But when it does get really cold or raining, we have those black jackets you'll see us wear. Right here you'll see that there is a little button, and it's actually a heated jacket. So that's usually how we stay warm when we go out. And obviously just wear your pants, your shoes or boots, sometimes a beanie or a hat. But most of the year in Australia it is quite warm, so we're usually out in, for a girl, leggings and a top, or for men obviously you've got your shorts or your t-shirts. So that's normally what we wear roughly. And we always have the same clothes to go out in. Just, we call them our dumpster diving clothes, because obviously we don't want to ruin anything that's nice. Alrighty, and our very last question is, do we have any pets? Yes, we have 2 dogs and a cat. Our cat is an indoor cat, and our dogs obviously stay outside because they are a larger breed. But yeah, that's all that we have in terms of animals. So that's all the questions answered. I hope that answered some of your questions. I hope it helps. If there's still something I haven't mentioned or that you're curious about, please feel free to reach out. Again, obviously we're not going to disclose where we work, just for privacy reasons, let's say, and it's probably not a good idea if we mention what we do. Yeah. Oh, and there was the stolen videos on Facebook. It is getting handled. We are sorting that out now. Just wanted to make other people aware, because there are other dumpster divers. I've seen their videos on there. So if you recognize anyone's on there, can you please reach out to them and just let them know that it is happening? Just because obviously it's theft, it's illegal, and we just need to get on top of it and work together as a community. And it's just not right to do. So please let them know if you notice who it is. Lastly, we're going to do a giveaway. So I do apologize. It's been a long time coming. We're finally there now. So what I have done here is I've got a hat with everyone's name. So obviously you can see all the names are different. If I can try and show you. Excuse the bad writing, but you can see they're all different names. So we're going to mix all those up. As you can see, they're all in here. So we're going to mix all those up and we're going to pull a winner out, and I'll let you know who the name is. Here we go. Alrighty, just for the sake of the video and to make it fair, I've moved so you can see everything's in here. So I'm just going to shake it around and I'm going to pick one without looking. Alright, so we've got a name. Kelsey Maloney. So if this is you, please email us at dumpsterdivingdownunder@gmail.com. That way we can have a discussion and see where you're located, if you're in Australia or if you're located overseas. That way we can work out what we're sending you. So if you've seen my post, if you're overseas due to shipping costs, we're going to give you a $50 Amazon gift card, and if not, we'll be sending you the dumpster diving find, so you can refer back to the giveaway video to see exactly what's in that. But congratulations, I'll put your name on the screen now. Please reach out to us so we can send it on to you and discuss where you are and work everything out. But thank you so much, we really appreciate it. We couldn't have done this without you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think in the comment section down below, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Thanks guys, bye.